Recording.
Hi, I'm Ben Blau, and I'm here at Wunderground Magic Shop in beautiful Royal Oak, Michigan, with my new friend Phil and my old friend Paul. And we're going to try something here. Paul, you know me pretty well, and you know that one of the things that I frequently do is I ask people to think of cards and eventually tell them what card that they're thinking of. And it's not surprising that people want to know how I do that, right? The answer, unfortunately, is not simple because it's not always the same way, right? It kind of depends on the people that I'm working with, and I had to have more than one possible method in order to get that done. And therefore, I spend a lot of time at home just formulating theories as to how I can possibly achieve this under different circumstances. So I have something that at the moment is just a theory that I want to test, and I was hoping that I could do that with the both of you, okay? Now we can use my cards or we can use your cards. It's up to you. Does anybody care? Okay, this is just a regulation pack of playing cards and 2 regulation human beings. So one of you can examine, shuffle. I don't care.
Go for it.
In this case, it doesn't especially matter. But if you care to shuffle, then feel free.
Want a mix?
As opposed to a big mix. Okay, that's okay. All right, so we're going to try something simple here that just involves numbers. But before we get started, I'm going to ask for you to decide amongst yourselves of which 2 suits we're going to use. I prefer it to be a red suit and a black suit. So, for example, it could be clubs and hearts or spades of diamonds or whatever combination, but black and red. Does either of you have a strong opinion?
You pick the black and I'll pick the red. Clubs.
Clubs and
Hearts.
Clubs and hearts it'll be, okay. Like I said, this is just going to be numbers, and aces count as 1, okay? So that's a club, that's a heart, that's a club, that's a club, that's a club, that's a club, that's a club. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. That's a heart, that's a club, that's a heart. Here we have a club, here we have a heart, another ace that again counts as 1. Do I have them all? No, there's a club, that's a heart, that's a club, and that's a heart. Okay, fine. All right, so we've got 2 groups of cards here, and these are just like the red number hearts, and these are just the black number clubs, right? Now in this particular routine, you're going to make a series of choices, a series of decisions, and every choice you make, believe it or not, is going to tell me a little something about each of you that I need to know to make this work, if it's going to work at all, okay? So Phil, why don't we start with you? I'd like you to begin by you naming any number you want between 1 and 10. We'll start that way.
3.
3, okay, so here is the 3 of clubs, and here is the 3 of hearts, and I'll just leave these right here. Paul, name one of the remaining numbers.
8.
8. So here is an 8, and here is an 8. I'm going to place these together, but you decide which card goes where. Does the red go with the red and the black goes with the black, or you want to reverse it? Okay, fine. Phil, name one of the remaining numbers.
9.
9. Okay, so here's a 9 and here's a 9. Which card goes where?
Just like that.
Just like they are, okay. Paul, what's another number?
7.
7. Okay, so here are the 7s. Where do they go?
Just like they are.
Just like they are, okay. Another number?
3. Oh, no, 6.
Okay, 6. Oh, phew, I'm glad you said that. Where do they go?
Let's switch those.
You want to switch these?
Yeah.
Okay, so like that.
Yep.
Okay, fine. And Paul, another number?
Let's do 5.
Let's do 5. Okay. Where do they go?
Switch them.
Switch them. That's fine. And another number?
10.
10. And here are the 10s. Where do they go?
Just like that.
Just like they are. Okay, Paul, we're getting close to the end
2s.
here. Getting close there. Okay, the 2s. Where do they go?
Just like that.
Just like that. And
Ace.
we're going to go for the aces. And where do they go?
Just like that.
Just like they are. And Paul, last but not least, you're forced with the...
Force and switch them.
Switch them. Okay, fine. All right, so you've made all of those decisions, right? There's no way that I could have anticipated in advance what order these cards were going to end up in. Is that a fair statement? Okay.
Yes.
So here's what I propose to do. What I'll do is I'm just going to take the cards from both halves, and I'm going to alternate them. going to interlace them like this to form one group. Now, I'm not going to insult your intelligence and call this a shuffle, because technically it's not. The whole point here is just to create one large packet of cards that consists of in order that there's no way that I could have predicted in advance. I mean, you have to agree with that, yes? Okay? So you can see, of course, that they are quite random, all right? But despite that fact, we're going to just shuffle them a little bit more, okay? Just make sure that these are all good and goofed up. As a matter of fact, we can even give them a few cuts, like this. And as a matter of fact, Paul, maybe you can help me. Take a few cards and cut them right here. And Phil, can you cut a few more cards and put them over here? Great, and I'm going to stack them up. And by the way, when you do that, sometimes I like to point out that when you do that cut, the top, when you cut it off, it becomes the middle. The middle, it becomes the bottom. And when you stack them up again, the bottom becomes the top. So the packets really do displace themselves, okay? So at this point, we've got a situation where things are pretty much randomized, okay? But I still need a little bit more help. And Phil, maybe I can enlist your help to do this next part.
Sure.
I want you to make 2 piles of 10 cards. There are 20 here in total, right? But you can do this in one of 2 ways. Either you can count 10 cards into one pile and then 10 cards into the other pile, or you can deal cards alternately, like back and forth, left, right, as if you were dealing out 2 hands for some really weird game of cards, okay? Remember, that is your choice. So you take the cards and you decide which manner in which you want to do that. So you're doing the left to right, and continue doing that until you've exhausted all of the cards, please. Great, okay. And you don't know which cards are in which pile, and you don't know which cards are in which pile, and the truth is that I don't know which cards are in which pile, but let's just take this one step further. As one last act of randomization, Paul, I know you how to do a riffle shuffle. Can you please riffle shuffle those together?
Oh.
It's harder with smaller groups of cards, I realize that, and push them together. Fine. So now we know for sure that we've got a situation where everything is absolutely mixed up. All right, now the fun part begins, because I'm going to make 2 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I'm going to leave them just like so for now. Because in a moment, I am going to turn my back, and I want each of you to choose one of those 2 groups. But I don't think it's fair for me to know which one of you gets which one. So you're just going to take them at random, and you're going to wait until my back is turned. From your group, you will simply think of one of the cards, okay? But just to make this harder on me, I would like for one of you to think of a card that has an odd value, and for the other person to think of a card that has an even value, okay? Now this should be easy because they're all number cards. So when I turn around and you pick up your group of cards, I want you to somehow silently between each other decide which one of you is going to think of an odd and which one of you is going to think of an even. So I have a suggestion. If you want to think of an odd card, go like this, okay? That's odd. And if you want to think of an even card, go like that, okay? As long as one is odd and one is even, that's all I care about, okay? So I will turn my back. Each one of you take whichever packet you'd like. Shuffle them some more, or if you care to, that's fine with me as well. And then silently decide between the 2 of you which one of you will think of an odd valued card and which one of you will think of an even valued card. And let me know when you have done that.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep.
So you've agreed which one of you is going to think of an odd and which one of you is going to think of an even, okay?
Yes.
So at this point, I would like each of you to look through your cards and remove one. If you thought of an odd card, take one out that's odd. If you thought of an even card, take one out that's even, but don't show each other, okay? Just take out those cards.
Okay.
Is there any chance at all that either one of you will forget the card that you're now looking at? Because I need you to memorize them. That's very important. It's critical.
No.
Okay? No chance at all, yeah? Can I get an agreement from both of you?
Yes. Yes.
You'll
Yes.
both remember your cards, because what I would like you to do at this point is to, without showing each other, to exchange just those cards. So Paul, yours is going to be added to Phil's group, and Phil, you can add your card to Paul's group. And then both of you shuffle your packets some more so that those cards are completely lost. Okay? So at this point, everybody has shuffled everything. Is that correct?
Yep.
Strictly speaking, that's not true, because Paul, you haven't shuffled Phil's group, and Phil, you haven't shuffled Paul's group. So trade packets and shuffle them again.
Okay.
Are we good? All right, so if I turn around right now, all I'll see is 2 face-down little packets of cards there, yes?
Yes.
Okay, fine. All right. So, now because of the way you traded back, I know that, Paul, I know your card is in here somewhere, yes?
Yes.
And because I'm not a psychic, I'm not going to just try to read your mind in that way and some sort of telepathy. It really has nothing to do with that. But what I am going to do is to try to get a read on you. And to do that, I'll have you make 2 statements about your card. One of those statements has to be true, and one of those statements has to be a lie. But you get to decide when you lie, okay? So for example, let's suppose that I thought of the Ace of Hearts as an example, all right? If I said my card is a red card, that would be true. If I said my card was a black card, that would be a lie, right? If I said my card is an odd card, aces are ones, all right, that would be true. But if I said my card was an even card, that would be a lie. So again, you're going to make 1 true statement and 1 false statement. And you get to decide when you lie. Okay? So here's question number 1. Is your card red or black?
Red.
Red. Okay. That could have been the truth. It could have been a lie. There's no way for me to know, right? But if you answer that truthfully, the answer to the next question needs to be a lie and vice versa. You understand how this works. So you said your card is red. Here's question number 2. Is your card odd or even?
Odd.
Okay, so red odd is what you said. All right. All right. I'm going to take your packet and I'm going to start by removing all the cards that I think it isn't, okay? So I don't think it's any of these. You did say red even, right? So
I said red odd.
you said, I'm sorry, you said red odd, beg your pardon. Okay, so maybe I was wrong about those. Let me just double check. No, maybe, I don't think it was this one. I don't think it was this one, or this one, or this one, or this one. Okay, I'm getting the strongest feeling about this card here. Now, I will reserve my right to change my mind about this, okay? But for now, I'm going to commit to this card. And as a matter of fact, why don't you place your hand on top of it? That way, I cannot mess with it, okay?
Okay.
All right? Phil, you were thinking of a card as well, okay?
Yes.
And we're going to play the same game. I'm going to try to get a read on you by asking you 2 questions. Remember, one answer has to be the truth, one answer has to be a lie, right? And you get to decide when you lie. Are you ready to play this game?
Yes.
Okay, you remember your card, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. So, first question, is your card red or black?
Black.
Black. Okay. Is your card odd or even?
Odd.
Odd. Okay. Now, for some reason, I'm finding you a little bit easier to read than Paul. Okay, so what did you say? You said red odd or black odd? I forgot.
Black odd.
You said black odd, right? So I think you don't have to confirm or deny this, but I think you lied when you told me that your card was odd. You don't have to confirm or deny that. I have an idea. I want to make this twice as hard for me. So take all of the cards, mix them all together. And I haven't looked through your packet at all, have I? Right?
No.
Okay, so at this point, if I looked through this group of cards and found the one card that you were thinking of, would you be mildly impressed with that?
I'd be very impressed.
You'd be very impressed with that. Okay, so that's not good enough for me. You see, because if I were a real mind reader, I shouldn't need to look through the cards at all. I should be able to just tell you what card you thought of from the very beginning of this experiment. Now, since I'm not going to produce it and I will have no evidence, I'm counting on you to be honest. If I name your card correctly, you have to say that I got it right. Okay?
Sure.
card is black. Yes?
Yes.
It's a club. We know that. Right? Do me a favor and count down out loud from 10 all the way down through ace. Out loud.
10, 9, 8,
That's
7.
good enough. I got it. 8 of clubs. Am I right?
Correct.
Correct. And Paul, what was your card?
The 5 of clubs?
5 of clubs. Turn it over. Let's see how I did. 5 of clubs. I think I got them both.
Very nice.
All right. Thank you, guys.